We're grateful to work, live, and learn on the traditional territory of Treaty 8. We have some changes, as you can see. The audiovisual people are almost complete in installations, and everything will be complete by next Tuesday. And then they're going to train us how to handle this stuff. The deputy mayor will be coming into meetings from Brian Martinson will be coming into meetings after this one by Zoom. And so the deputy mayor for the next 4 months is Councillor Fursky. The function of the deputy mayor is to make sure that the mayor stays on the straight and narrow. Starting then with the agenda, are there any additions, subtractions, or additions to the agenda? Councillor Hanlon?
Have an addition, could we add attendance for the Economic Development Foundation training on February 3rd in Sucker Creek on the agenda, please?
Okay, well, let me put that right before confidential items, okay? And that's economic development training,
Yes.
and that's Councillor Hanlon will speak to that, okay? Any other additions or subtractions? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adopt the agenda. Councilman Doherty. I'll make that motion. All those in favor? Carried. Moving on then to the scheduled delegations. The first scheduled delegation we have in front of us is the Gymnastics Association, Darcy Larondel and her assistants. Come forward, please, and the clerk will show you how to operate the mic has to be on, otherwise most of us will not hear you.
Oh, and press it. Oh. How many people have their mics on? There it is.
You can come to the front too if you like, and sit. Just pull up the chair. Grab that third one from us.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us speak to you today. My name is Katie Morochi, and I'm the new president of the High Prairie Gymnastics Association.
And I'm Darcy Larondel, and I am the current executive director as well as the coach for the Gymnastics Association.
And I am Shauna Rouse, and I am one of our directors as well.
So we are a nonprofit sports organization focused on providing affordable gymnastic opportunities to children and youth in High Prairie and the surrounding area. Presently, our association and equipment is located on the second floor of the Sports Palace. Once a highly active club in High Prairie, the club has been inactive since its closure during the COVID pandemic. Our new board of directors came on board August 2025 and have been working diligently to reinstate operations and society status. Comprised of highly motivated parents, we have recognized the high interest in youth gymnastics from within our community. Many families are traveling to Slave Lake, Value, and Donnelly to access their gymnastic offerings. This is not a viable option for all families, especially through winter months, posing transportation hazards and excess costs to traveling out of town for an after-school sport. We are here to discuss one of the last remaining hurdles that is keeping us from opening or reopening our doors to the community.
Between the town of High Prairie and the High Prairie Gymnastics Association, there is a historic debt that predates the present board. We are here today to respectfully request council support by waiving our debt obligation prior to January 2026 to allow the association to relaunch with its new board and a fresh financial slate. The Gymnastics Association pays a rental fee for the space to operate and to store the nearly $200,000 worth of equipment that was purchased by the association. According to the records of the town and recreational department, there is still a debt owing of somewhere between $2,000 to $16,000. There has been conflicting invoices and record keeping by all parties. The recreation department can better provide more information on the exact amount owing as it remains unclear to us. We have provided you a little rent information handout, as we have kind of combined all the information that we have gathered from the past and current, rent information. So any outstanding account balances that was given to us, the most recent one was about $3,403.11 as of October 27, 2025. And ever since the club has shut down because of COVID in 2021, the club has continued to make payments, and the total rent paid since the shutdown has been approximately $32,000. Outstanding new invoices since us new board members have started in August. The current outstanding for the new board is about $1,500. The High Prairie Gymnastics Association has operated in High Prairie since 2002. Like many volunteer organizations, it's faced significant challenges during the following pandemic. The temporary closure resulted in loss of revenue, coaches, and eventually its society status. A completely new board of directors is now in place. None of the current board members were involved in the decisions or operations during the period of inactivity. Over the past months, we have been working diligently to rebuild the organization responsibly and transparently.
I'd like to talk to you now about some of the progress that we've made since we have reactivated our society. So since forming our new board, we have reinstated the society status with the province of Alberta. We have applied to become members once again with the Alberta Gymnastics Federation. We have reinstated our AGLC status. We've held monthly board of directors meetings since July 2025. We've reactivated governance and financial oversight. We've hosted several work bees with volunteers from parents in the community to remove garbage, rodents, clean the space, rebuild our equipment, and made minor repairs to improve the safety and use of the space. We have also secured a local gymnastics coach and created a training pipeline for 3 more potential coaches in training. We are a highly motivated and committed group of volunteers and are optimistic that with the right support in place, the association can be operational again within the next couple of months. The debt the association is carrying from the town has created a secondary challenge in our fundraising efforts. When reaching out to local businesses and community members for private financial support and sponsorships, there is decreased interest once it becomes clear that monetary donations will be applied to address the outstanding debt to the town of High Prairie rather than to programming and new equipment. Given the circumstances, we respectfully are requesting forgiveness of all outstanding debt to the town incurred prior to January 2026 and allow the club to begin with a clean, clearly documented rental agreement moving forward. Our goal is not to avoid responsibility, but to move forward with clarity and fairness. Carrying historical debt that the current board did not create makes it extremely difficult to restart a volunteer-run youth organization. We are committed to timely rent payments, open communication, and responsible use of the facility going forward. Our main objective is to open our doors and begin offering year-round programming to High Prairie and the surrounding area as soon as possible.
Restarting the gymnastics club would provide accessible sport opportunities for local children and youth, healthy, active recreational options closer to home rather than seeing them seek opportunities in neighboring communities. We are also hoping to offer more activities to support ongoing engagement and retention within this community.
In closing, we want to emphasize that this is a new chapter for Gymnastics Club. With council support, we believe we can rebuild a sustainable and well-governed organization that benefits our community for years to come. Thank you for your time and consideration. We're happy to answer any questions.
As I told you, we'll now start going around the table, and each counselor may have a question or a comment that will spark some interest, I hope. Councillor Hanneman, do you have any questions or comments of these three?
Not right now, thanks.
Councillor McMillan?
I'm glad, thank you for coming forward for the presentation. So you're on the new board. Were you also, any of you on the old board?
No.
Not?
No.
Okay. Now I've newly elected here, but I've also worked for the town before. Now, I'm trying to remember, because I remember hearing something where the gymnastic club of the day, this goes back a year and a half maybe, was collecting rent for the space from another group, an organization, because they said it was theirs. So they were collecting the rent, camping it themselves, and it should have been actually coming to the town at that time. Has that been resolved?
Yes, so, we are, currently we share the space with the Jiu-Jitsu club.
Yes.
And so while we were closed, we were all closed for COVID, and then we were closed because we didn't have a coach. They moved into the space somewhere between that time and now. We, for as far as I understand, we were responsible for collecting the money and remitting the money.
And yes, going back through all the financial statements and everything that we had to make, we have noticed that we actually have paid exactly the same amount that Jiu-Jitsu has paid us straight to the town, as well as an excess for pay our outstanding debt as well.
Okay, thank you. And then I noticed in the application for funding town, there's an amount there that requested $4,500. That the amount of the debt that you have given.
So that was just kind of an estimate at the time when we had made this application. Because every time we go to a different department, the total outstanding amount is kind of different. There's definitely conflicting numbers from every department, including our own, so no one's is matched, so we're unsure of exactly how much we are in debt. But based on the last amounts of emails that we have received stating our outstanding balances, we have estimated it to be about $4,500.
Okay, because what the council will need is they're looking to write off that debt, is we'll need to know the exact amount, because we have to be able to say that we're writing off. If it's $4,500, then that's fine, because this would be an old debt.
For sure. We are relying on the town's information because our record keeping was very lackluster from the previous board. So we've just, whatever between the finance department and the recreation department, whatever they conclude is what we're working with.
And we are also aware that the town office has had conflicts with their invoicing, sorry.
One of that was working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So every time we reach out to the town, they have told us that there has been issues with the invoicing companies. Because if you actually look at the invoices there, it's very confusing, the total amounts on there, because it almost appears as if it recorded that we have made double payments when we haven't.
I'll confirm this with my finance staff, and what will happen, because this is a scheduled delegation or even a public delegation, I'll write a report to council. We'll have the absolute numbers
Okay,
2 weeks from now, and for council to approve or disapprove.
Okay, and just one last question then. So with the Jiu-Jitsu organization, they now have an agreement with the town themselves. They're no longer paying you guys, that's paying the town directly.
Correct,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all I at this moment.
Councillor Campbell, any questions or comments?
No questions for me. No.
Councillor Gunther?
Well, I think Councillor Winderling covered it all. You guys are a new group, and I think we give you a fresh start.
Deputy Mayor?
Well, that's it.
Well, thank you very much for your presentation, and particularly for your candid explanation of the confusion around the dollars. As our Chief Administrative Officer said, we will find a definite number and we will give you an answer 2 weeks from tonight.
Perfect. Thank
Is
you.
that fine?
That's
Sounds
wonderful.
great.
Thank you very much, and I wish you all the success in your venture. I think it's excellent. Having a gymnastic club is excellent.
Thank
Thank
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our next scheduled delegation is the Voice of Albertans with Disabilities. Please come forward and introduce yourselves, and always make sure the mic red light is on, otherwise we won't hear you clearly.
I need to get to our. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go. Oh,
Thank you. My name is Teresa Makarovich,
And my name is Yusuf Ario.
and we're from the Voice of Albertans with Disabilities. So we would like to thank you for the opportunity to provide information about our services. Before I get into what we do, I just want to let you know who we are as a team. So our team is small but mighty, from program support and education to advocacy and community outreach. We work together to ensure our services are impactful and accessible. We have 6 employees. Tara is our new executive director. Myself as the program services manager. Karine is our financial administration person. Chantel and Yosef are our community support workers, and Michelle is our education coordinator. We've been around since 1973, so that is over 53 years old, and we are located in Edmonton. There we go. We have 3 different types of memberships in our organization. So we have an individual membership, which is IVAD. And that's $25 fee for anybody who wants to join, unless it is financially difficult. Then we have a benevolent membership. We have an organizational membership for nonprofit associations who work with disabled individuals, and that is $99 per year. And then we have a corporate membership for retail businesses that work with disabilities and disabled individuals. Some member benefits, you can get a newsletter, which is both digital and in print, participation in different advocacy projects and events. And then we have an online directory and resource hub that is able to be accessed by all of our members. So we have 2 organizational streams. The first stream is individual, where we do forms and program services support. And the other side of the organizational stream is where we do collaboration, research, accessibility, coordination, and community collaboration. So we work one-to-one with individuals to arrange appointments and work together to fill out application forms, provide self-advocacy. Organizational supports, we work to embrace, focus on collaborating with other organizations, local government, and community. We have education awareness stream, where we work with post-secondary, elementary, junior, senior, and businesses to provide disability awareness presentations, teaching etiquette about myths, so on and so forth. Okay. These are some of the different areas that we supply support in. So we have AISH, the Assured Income for the Severely Handicapped, Canada Pension Plan Disability, Canada Disability Benefit, Disability Tax Credit. We do personal taxes for low-income individuals in Edmonton. We do old age security forms, Alberta Adult Health Benefit forms, referrals for RDSPs, and self-advocacy support. So in order to use our services, somebody has to set up an appointment. They either give us a call, go on our email, or set it up through the website. We make an appointment with them, either by phone or in person, because we do support all of Alberta. We give them a checklist of what they need for the application. We get everything ready for them to mail out, and we provide the information that the doctor needs to fill out the form. So a little bit about AISH, the Assured Income for the Severely Handicapped. It's a financial and health benefit for Albertans with severe and permanent disabilities. You can receive living allowance, child benefit, health benefit, personal benefits. And you must be over the age of 18 and not eligible to receive old age security. You must have a medical condition that is likely to remain permanent, and it must be the main factor limiting your ability to earn a living, not other factors such as your education level. AISH is not meant to get people out of debt. It is meant to provide basic housing, reasonable items, home costs, so on and so forth. The next one we have is the disability tax credit. This is a non-refundable tax credit that helps reduce the amount of income tax individuals with disabilities or supporting family members may pay, or pardon me, wait, may owe. And it's intended to help offset some of the extra costs related to physical or mental impairments. So the disability tax credit is needed for those who are on AISH in order to qualify for the Canadian Disability Benefit, which is another benefit program that we work with. Sorry. Next, we work with Canada Pension Plan Disability. It is the disability portion of the Canadian Pension Plan program. You have to be between the ages of 18 and 64. It requires that you are unable to work at any position, not just a previous position. So if you worked in the oil patch your whole life, got hurt and can no longer work in the oil patch, but wanted to get Canadian pension plan disability benefits, you would not be able to work at any position. So that's one of the main things there. It's a monthly benefit for people who are unable to work because of both a severe and prolonged disability, and it can take up to 4 months to complete an application. We also do old age security, and this is a pension payable to seniors age 65 and older. In most cases, Service Canada will automatically enroll clients into OAS if they have sufficient information. If not, they can come to an organization like ours and we will fill out the forms for them. If you didn't get a letter, like I said, you could just contact us and we'd fill out the forms for you. This also includes a guaranteed income supplement, and for seniors, we also work with the Alberta Seniors Benefit Program. For people in the rural areas, we work with the Non-Insured Health Benefits Program, and this is for coverage for registered First Nations and recognized Inuits for prescriptions, over-the-counter drugs, dental, vision, and eye care, medical supplies, and equipment for short-term crisis intervention, mental health counseling, and medical transportation. This program provides coverage. It varies by region as to what is approved. So in order to get any help, we have to have it approved ahead of time. On the organizational side, we work with local, provincial, and provincial governments for advocacy, policy, and regulation reviews. We do current event solutions and speak as a unified voice for our provincial-wide membership. We believe in collaboration and driving system-level change. Some of the areas that we work with in community are employment, transportation, housing, accessibility, and education. And we offer free lunch and learn programs, which are about 45 minutes to an hour and a half for everybody who wants to learn about what we do. That's it. This is a quick and dirty of what VAD does. So we normally have a 45 minutes or so to do a presentation. We have left you some information there about the ADAP program that is coming out. Yes. ADAP is the new program starting in July of 2026. Everybody on AISH will be moved from AISH to ADAP automatically, and then they will determine whether or not you need to be reassessed to be put back on the AISH program. So it's an automatic $200 deduction going from AISH to ADAP, and you can only earn $350 as compared to AISH, which is $1,072 before they start clawbacks. So ADAP is quite a big issue in the community right now that people are worried about. Some of the other things that we've given you a little token, which is for a shopping cart. One end is 25 cents, the other end is a loonie.
Yeah.
So you can, do your shopping without having to worry about any change. The only other thing that we do right now is we are booking blocks of times like this, where we come in and give a presentation to various organizations and businesses. And then like we're doing tomorrow, we'll be here to do applications for anybody needing assistance with the different benefit programs that we have. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much for your presentation. As I explained to you, we'll go around the table now for any councillors that have a question or a comment. Councillor Campbell? I'm good, thank you. Councillor Hunter?
Thank you.
Councillor Hanlon?
Hi, thanks for the presentation. I do have one question. If you're based out of Edmonton, how would that impact the people in our area?
We do phone appointments or Zoom appointments if necessary. And then we also travel. So we can make a day like tomorrow where we would come out and spend a morning or an afternoon doing appointments for people in your community.
Okay, thanks.
Councillor Norton?
Just one question. So is there any individuals or organizations you're working with currently in High Prairie areas? No? Okay, and then I always ask this question, so is there an ask of the council right now, or is it just an information matter?
Just information.
Is that at this time, or?
Yeah, we're just trying to get our information out there as to who we are and what we do so that more people can access our services.
Thank you very much.
Deputy Mayor? Well, thank you for your presentation. In your objective to get information out, you should know that within a few days, you'll be on YouTube.
Perfect.
Okay. And of course, the press is there, and you can engage the local editor in whatever conversation you wish to have.
Perfect.
As far as coordination at the local level, FCSS does a lot of the job load that you take on.
Mhm.
So if you're talking to people in the community, one of them that you might want to connect with is FCSS and see how you can coordinate things with them.
Perfect.
Okay? The CEO, have any questions or comments?
Only, what kind of data or statistics do you have as far as the number of people here in High Prairie that might need your assistance?
I don't have any about High Prairie specifically, but I can tell you that 1 in 5 people have a disability. That's approximately 8 million people in Canada.
So 1 in 5 divided by 2,500. Something like that. We won't figure that. 100 here. It's about.
Here in town.
Well, 500. There we go. And not my name.
Any closing comments you wish to make?
No, we're good. Thank you.
The other guy doesn't talk?
Bounce.
Of course, I do talk. But Teresa is my supervisor, and I believe she has given you all the information that you need.
That was the right answer. Thank you very much for coming to High Prairie. I'm sure that you do a lot of good work. I suspect most of us know someone who's disabled. So thank you very much, and good luck with tomorrow's meetings.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on then. First off, we should dispose of these by some form of motion. I suggest that the Gymnastics Association, that we have a motion to defer for 2 weeks, awaiting the CAO's precise numbers. And anyone wish to make the motion to defer? Councilor Mindelaine?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, and we'll rely on the clerk to write it so it covers what we want. All those in favor of deferment? Carried. The presentation by Voice of Alberta with Disabilities Thanks to them for the presentation. I would entertain a motion to receive for information. Councilor Hammer. All those in favor? Carried. Mr. Peace Officer, you're next.
My turn.
One moment here while I find my report. Been a busy week.
Page 15.
Thank you. All right, my annual peace officers report. This is a couple pager. I won't read everything all in detail. I'll just kind of highlight some of the things that we did throughout the year last year. So in total last year, we had issued a total of 277 provincial fines with an estimated revenue of around $70,404. 76 of those 277 tickets were issued for speeding offenses. 4 out of those 277 were issued for cannabis related offenses. 26 of those were public intox / public consumption related offenses. 75 of those tickets were in relation to unregistered vehicles. 5 of those tickets were for driving a motor vehicle without a license. 3 of them were for no insurance. 14 stop sign violations and 25 tickets for trespassing. The rest of the tickets had kind of just varied throughout the vehicle equipment regulation, the use of highway rules and roads regulation, and just other various sections of the Traffic Safety Act. We also had 4 warrants executed throughout the year this year. They were just Traffic Safety Act warrants. Typically, if people are issued a no insurance or a drive while unauthorized ticket, they get what's called basically a fine, but it is put under a pay or stay warrant. So if somebody fails to pay their fine within a prescribed amount of time, then they can be put in jail for the time instead of paying. For municipal tickets, we had issued 121 municipal tickets with an estimated revenue of around $11,455. 8 of those municipal tickets were issued under the traffic bylaw for speeding. There was 8 unsightly tickets that we had issued throughout the summer for non-compliance. 145 in total unsightly files. That includes both derelict vehicles and unsightly properties. We had around 14 animal control / dog related files, and then about 15 parking violations. Throughout the year, we had sent out 180 renewal licenses for renewal notices for dog licenses in 2025, and 29 tickets were issued for non-compliance. The remaining violations that were issued were just in relation to parking under the municipal bylaw, being off the truck route and turning where prohibited. In total, for 2025, we had a total of 206 complaint files, which is, off the top of my head, I can't do the math, but we had 108 complaint files in 2024. So there's a significant increase last year compared to 2024. Break down the dog licensing fines. There was roughly around $2,600 in revenue made from that. Around $950 in fines issued for dogs running at large, and then impound fees for animals being impounded at the facility were about $315. For about 6 months of the year, Senior Community Peace Officer Alan Bloom had worked for the Enforcement Services Department, but as of July 2025, he had retired. I had come to the organization in February of 2025, so in a couple of days, I'll be at my 1-year anniversary. And Edwin was hired about mid-June, just before Alan had kind of retired. So he's completed his training now, and we've officially split up and cover as much ground as we can. I do want to talk just on some improvements that we did have this year compared to 2024. The town of High Prairie enforcement community peace officers now have access to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police encrypted radio channel. So that has assisted a lot this year with our interoperability and safety measures. There's been multiple times throughout the year this year that we've had to contact RCMP, and instead of having to go through the painful, sometimes 20 to 30-minute process of having to call their dispatch and then wait for the call to be dispatched out to the officers, we were able to just get on the radio and be like, hey, we need assistance quick, and RCMP were there super fast. I know of one incident specifically just towards the end of the summer there. I went to go do a traffic stop on an unregistered quad who was driving around in town. In the process, the driver had taken off and ran me over in the process. We got on the radio with RCMP, and they ultimately located the individual, identified him, and that was all taken care of. I don't think I have anything additional that is of importance that I wanted to kind of add. There was multiple training courses that both myself and Edwin had taken throughout 2025. Yeah, I don't really have anything additional. I'm open to any questions that council may have.
Well, thank you very much, and I'll go around the table as you're used to. We'll start with Councillor Trump.
106 complaint files. What's everybody complaining about?
Unsightly properties, I would have to say, is primarily the biggest. But we also write complaint files on certain traffic stops that we do as well. So when we remove vehicles from the roadway or have them towed, or fines are issued under certain acts of the Traffic Safety Act, we have to create what's called a report file or a complaint file. And basically it just documents all of the information that we have. So our pictures, our evidence, our witness statements, if we have those, our general report from ourselves. Anything that might be pertinent for future encounters or other officers if they come across it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Councillor Temple.
Councillor Shunter asked the question I was gonna ask.
Councillor Hammond.
I do have a question. I'm not sure if you'll be able to answer it, or maybe administration. But I'm curious, with the provincial tickets of $70,000, now, do we get a share of this? Or does it all go to the province, and vice versa with the municipal tickets? Do we collect all that revenue, or do we have to pay a fee to somebody for it?
So for the municipal violations, everything that's issued under municipal bylaw is 100%. The town gets every dollar and penny. When it comes to provincial fines, I would have to double check, and I would hope administration would correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's 60% of the provincial fines that are issued, the province pays back to the town, 60% of that. So initially the province receives the money, and then I believe once a month, the province sends a check to the town with 60% of the fine revenue for the month. Sometimes it takes longer to receive the funds because obviously people have the right to attest the tickets in court if they don't agree with it or wish to plead guilty. And sometimes with those tickets, they either get thrown out or they're continued and made to pay. So it just all depends.
Thank you.
Councillor Murray.
Thank you again for the presentation. A couple of quick questions. So with the provincial tickets, when they're issued by other forces, the RCMP, anything that's issued within the town, do we get to share that? Or
I don't know off the top of my head. If I had to guess, I would assume it would be the same way as it is for us. If we issue tickets, it goes to the province, and then the province would then reach out to the municipality, because when we write our tickets, we have certain pay center codes for the area. So High Prairie, for example, is HIP. So if RCMP are writing tickets under the HIP pay center code, then in theory, we should be receiving half of that as well.
We do.
we do, okay, thank you. And the other question I had, With the complaints we get, do we have part with frequent flyers either on the complaint end or even the person they're being complained about? We have some, we have some of those people now?
Yes, there was, a multitude of complaints that I had received throughout the summer this year, in regards to unsightly properties that primarily stemmed from one individual. You know, it could be a hit or miss. It could just be somebody who really cares about their community and, you know, is trying to be really proactive about it. But I wouldn't say necessarily all the time we have frequent flyers. A lot of our complaint files are different in nature, but still a little bit similar. So like in regards to unsightly properties, there was a multitude of those throughout the summer this year. Different with each property, but similar in the sense that it's unsightly, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do. And then I guess the last question I had is with the statistic for that you provided here for the community, that does not include the other communities where we're providing our service to?
Correct, yeah, that does not include Big Lakes County or Smoky River MD.
Okay. Thanks.
Deputy Mayor, any questions?
Your working cell, is it 5720?
Sorry?
Your working cell phone?
Cell phone, yeah, 5720, yes, correct,
Yeah,
yeah, sorry.
Councilor Campbell?
Any of the tickets you write in Big Lakes County and over in Flair, we find into that, did we get any of the portion of that?
No, the municipality would. So Big Lakes County gets 60% of all the fines issued within their municipality, and then the same goes for Smoky River MD.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for your presentation. In particular, being a brand new mayor, I really appreciated the first page of your presentation. I think it really clearly outlines the enforcement responsibilities. And I was surprised to find out that we have a cannabis bylaw.
We do.
I would have thought the provincial legislation would have covered that topic, but
It does as well. It gives us a little bit more options in a sense, you know, if we wanted to be a little bit nicer to somebody in the sense of issuing them a municipal fine for the offense versus going the route of a provincial fine and then it being attached to their license and issues down the road with registering their vehicle. I would like to think that I'm a very compassionate individual and I like to take each situation with the information that I have and I think about the totality of circumstances. And sometimes it's better to give somebody a little bit of a break, but get the point across without having to go full bore, if you know what I mean.
no, I really appreciate that. Because it took me a while. Thankfully, Deputy Mayor Martinson helped me to understand the difference between police officers, peace officers, and law enforcement officers. How you're all at different tiers of legislative enforcement. So thank you very much for the report. I applaud you for your compassion. But please be compassionate in a very measured way.
I tried to.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're now moving on to page 21. The minutes. Starting on page 22, we have the meeting minutes of the regular meeting of council on January 13th. Are there any errors or omissions? Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. And finally, page 5. Are there any errors or omissions? Not hearing any, I entertain a motion to adopt. Councilor Thunder? All those in favor of adopting the minutes? Carried. Moving on then, and this one I had some problems with. Why is this one in our package? And why did we approve this one?
I made a mistake.
Yeah.
We were overzealous.
Moving on to the next item. Business arising. This is page 29, the job posting for the museum, board curator. And the recommendation is that council approves the job description and compensation. Anyone wishing to tackle that?
Before we even discuss it, I discovered.
Let's get a motion.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
If you don't get a motion, you don't get to talk.
That's right.
Anyone wish to make the motion so that we see the open thought?
I'll make that motion.
Councilor Ridley. Okay. Go ahead,
Yeah, I need one error on the job description. I'm so used to bi-weekly pay periods, I put in 70 hours. It's really 35 hours per week. And so it's just an omission on my part. But overall, here we are, you know, we've agreed to take over the museum. It was approved for, council did approve for a full-time museum curator. So we should probably get the posting in, advertise for the job posting and go from there. So council was agreeable on the salary and it's up to you. You don't have, I put in 70,000 based on the supporting documentation that's attached to the report. But I'm not saying that's definite, that's something for council to approve or lower or increase. But we do need somebody just beyond being a kind of a librarian, not a librarian, acting like a museum curator. It's the additional part of its job. It's important that we also have an event organizer so we can generate some revenue and defray some of these costs and somebody that can go after grants too.
okay, thanks for that history because it's important to remember that we have previously accepted the responsibility for the museum. I normally don't like two-part motions, but at least these two-part motions, these two parts don't pull at each other. So we'll go around and see what your views are. Councilor Ham.
I don't have any questions or anything right now.
Councilor McBride.
I see where the job description where it mentions that the responsible for employees, it doesn't mention in here, I didn't see it, where it says who are they responsible to? The management position or these?
A good point, it'd be responsible to me.
To you? And then as a manager, is that 35 hours standard for the managers for the town, or is that?
It's standard, well.
For our management?
Well, yeah, are we gonna keep the museum open 40 hours a week or 35?
Yeah. That's what it is, it's time, what you're doing.
Okay.
And then
If I can just interject, the number of hours that the curator works and the number of hours the museum may be open to the public are two separate items, okay?
Right.
Right now, we're just looking at the curator. Sorry. Any further questions, Councilor Norton?
Not this time.
Councilor Temple?
No, I for things in there that I'd like to see.
Okay, Councilor Schunder?
So if we're talking about the museum being open different hours from what the curator works, are we also discussing on hiring a second employee to man a museum?
Not, sorry, not in my view.
No.
Usually the hours change a bit because there's a certain amount of conservatory work that curators need to be doing when they're way in the back. The previous curator perhaps was supposed to do more than you would have liked. She was only open 3 days a week and closed 2 days a week.
Yeah.
And then there's training hours and there's a long list of training requirements for curators that we also have to allow the museum to be closed. Yeah, that's really the only reason why there would be a difference between work hours and public hours. Okay. And then I guess I happen to be a big fan of museums, so I used to have one. I don't. Deputy Mayor, any questions?
So, go ahead.
I actually I don't have any questions of the town on this. Obviously, if we're going to preserve the collection that is largely donated to us by our own residents, we have to have somebody in charge of that and someone who will accept the training to be responsible for the conservatory work that needs to be done. So, Councillor Minderlane made the motion. Any last comments, Councillor?
Yeah, I have one, because we've got the salary in here is just a flat 70,000 plus the statutory health benefits. With all of our management positions, I think we have salary range from step 1 to step 5 or 6, whatever it is. And we should probably have that, this position brought up to the 70,000. That's the bottom of the scale, so we could look up to 85,000. Or is this the median?
We'll certainly develop that, but I think it's important when we advertise, we put in salary. I don't like applying for jobs where it's to be determined. But I think this is an entry-level museum position and a starting salary of 70,000, or you might want to make it less, but I haven't developed a range, but that's a good point, Councillor Minderlane.
The last thing, I guess with that, we're looking at the range in some of the places that we're talking about where the salaries are coming from. There's a wide range of them in there, with some of them having a range and some of them just a dollar value. So I think we should probably have a range, and we should probably say what the bottom number we're looking at. So between 60 and 75, or is it between 70 and 85? I think we need to know that.
I don't think Councillor Minderlane was arguing against putting 70,000 in the line. What he's arguing for is that it fit into an existing managerial range that's already specified in our own documents. Is that correct?
Yeah, and for a position that's of equal or similar type responsibility.
I wouldn't necessarily agree that we should have the same salary grid as my current managers for this museum curator job. I think it's an easy, I may be wrong, but I think it's an easier job than the responsibilities that any of the municipal managers have. But nonetheless, we need to be able to attract somebody to this small northern Alberta town.
Mm-hmm.
And so I put forward that recommendation for 70,000, but again, this is up to council.
Yeah, okay. Any last minute questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor of, let's get this right, council approves the job description for museum curator and approves the compensation for the museum curator. 2 parts and 1 vote. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Moving on then to High Prairie Municipal Library and East Library Systems appointments, and these are on page 35. Basically, that council will appoint Councillor Herman Hinderline to the High Prairie Municipal Library Board, Peace River Library System, and I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Since it's
I was holding back since
a
about
government appointment, don't be shy. Any questions or comments? I'm not gonna go around the table on this one. It basically confirms in the fashion required the appointments this council has already made. All those in favor? Carried. Moving on now. Yes.
I believe there's another one there to also approve the appointment of Councillor Mifflin from the county to our regional board.
Didn't I read that?
Can I exclude that?
No, you've got it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
He just mentioned me by name.
yeah.
There you go.
That's what I read.
I just
Richard Mifflin and rescinds motion 48, 25, 49, 25. Okay, that's all in one. Moving on then to new business 8.1, page 38. I'm not gonna ask for a motion to start this one off because it's a big topic. It certainly touches on a broader topic concern to the community. So I'm going to ask the CEO to leap right in.
In support of my current two peace officers, it's become apparent that they're being pulled in too many directions. And going out to Falliere and Donnelly and the other municipalities, really, I think I said 36 hours, 37 hours. Plus, in addition to that, is 2 hours administration time, even when they come back to the town, they're still working on files from the outer communities. And with only two, and you have vacations, sicknesses, and training, quite often you're gonna have one. So there's not enough bodies to cover. Having three is certainly better, and we're still gonna have some issues with vacations and sick time and stuff like that. But I have two employees that are, and I can tell they're getting stressed out, they're getting tired and burned out a bit. And then, sometimes my managers complain when one of the officers is in another community for the commitments, to fulfill our commitments. And the poor peace officer has to take the brunt of criticism that he shouldn't be out there when he should be in town helping to ticket vehicles so that the snow can be removed from the streets and things like that. So they both did come to me, and my intuition and I do believe that we need to help them. And I think it's reasonable to ask council to increase our full-time equivalent by one in the enforcement department.
Well, thanks for introducing the item. I mean, just a comment, if a manager is complaining about the peace enforcement officer, it simply shows lack of coordination on the manager's point of view. That should have been arranged beforehand. This is going to be a pretty freewheeling. There's a lot of issues around this. We have an agreement with the county. We have an agreement with Smoky River, and so there's a lot of strings on this issue. That's why I haven't asked for a motion yet. Okay, but I'm sure that people are eager to pull on those threads. Councillor Miller.
Okay, so I totally agree. I think it's a great idea to have a third peace officer in town. But the key part of that is in town. So if we do recruit another officer, it would be nice to have that officer working solely in High Prairie. And I think the presence in the community may help decrease some more of the crime, because the community is going to see more presence in town.
I hate to interject at this point, but if you ask the peace enforcement manager to say that this particular person cannot leave town, it's a tough one, because then he has to schedule around that. I think what we really want, though, is that there be one in town.
Yes.
One of the three. Is that right?
Yes. That's
Okay,
good.
thank you. Councilor Miller.
So a lot of questions here, but I don't think, the idea of what farming out our peace officers to other communities, and it's been like that for a long time, and I think it's a good working relationship we have with them. We do gain revenue off of that, so by saying we're gonna drop that, well, that's already adding up. And there's probably still not gonna be enough there, because there's still other problems with sick time, vacation time, courses, training, etc. And I noticed, having been working for the town before, that there's always a shortfall of officers' availability. So I think based on that, I think as long as we leave everything as intact, but the third officer brought on, and I think I asked before, this would be included in our budget.
It will be, it isn't right now.
It is not.
But it'll be, we wouldn't be able to hire anybody until probably practically April 1st.
Yeah. So it'll be partial year, the first
Yeah,
year.
partial year, first year. And
And the cost of that, number?
67,500.
Is that a year annual cost?
No, the officer, it would generally be 90,000 for salary and benefits for one peace officer.
Oh,
And training costs and body equipment.
thanks.
Councillor Chapel.
Nothing right now.
Councillor Hunter.
There's nothing in here about another vehicle. We're gonna share the vehicles we have. Yeah, as of right now. All right. Yeah, I carry the opinion that crime's an issue in High Prairie, and we've had a really gentle winter. Snowfall has, contributed to help keep the crime down a little bit, kept everybody indoors. But, summer's gonna come back and the snow is not gonna keep the crime down forever, so an additional peace officer would certainly be beneficial to the town. I think we need to reevaluate our agreements with our neighbors and make sure that we're, at least breaking even, if not turning a small profit off of that. And, yeah, no, I'm in favor.
Deputy Mayor. Go ahead, Councillor Campbell.
Yeah, I'm all for this too. This looks good and will help with the policing. My only question would be for the CAO is this new model that was sent out for the RCMP, are we gonna get nailed with another increase this year?
Yes. And it's significant, and it gets worse 3 years from now.
Yes.
It really jumps up by $100,000 3 years from year to year. So I think the additional cost to our contract will be, if I remember correctly, about 36,000. So
And that's
for
not-
this year, for 2026.
And that's not in our current budget?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We'll put it in for the next presentation of the operating budget.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? Councillor Campbell.
No, thank you.
Deputy Mayor.
No.
I echo and, so go ahead, Councillor.
I just had one of the questions regarding again with the policing out now, because you made mention of the fact that there's administrative time required when they return to the community to tidy that up. What is being billed to those communities? Strictly the time they leave here, the time they get back, and nothing further. I think we need to do something with that. And our contracts need to be reviewed to say that a certain proportion or percentage be added on there for
Administrative work.
both his and also the staff involved, whether it's your time or finance or whoever else or public works.
I think it's a reasonable request.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry,
I think what we're hearing, CAO, is that the council supports this, but looking at the larger application of our peace officers, that we want to regularize the contracts that we have with Big Lakes and Smoky River, that they cover all of the hours served, not just the hours served on location, but also the administrative hours. And then right now, there's a gap between the two rates, and we should be trying to close that. This is a big topic because, we all went through a campaign, and I doubt if anybody didn't hear about these concerns. And if you couple this with the peace officer's report earlier tonight, this also takes a major step to what I call the general facelift of the community. If you look at the unsightly tickets that have been written at an increased number over previous years. So I think while it is not in our operating budget, I need to emphasize that our operating budget is right now only an interim budget, and it isn't finalized for a while yet. And also, since the press is here and you're going to hear taxes going up, you should be aware that the RCMP budget is going up. You should be aware that we were told at Alberta Communities Convention that the provincial government was going to be increasing the education bite from 22% of the Department of Education's budget to 33%. Now, whether that actually gets carried out in those precise numbers, to the best of my memory, Herman and David, those were the numbers we heard. And so
It's 50% increase.
And remember that there's another taxing authority, Heart River Foundation. So We're going to be looking at a very mixed plate when we look at property taxes this year. We're looking at increases to at least to restore our capital reserves. We might have a project to lend our support to, but I just want to make this comment because the press is making notes that taxes are going to jump, and they're going to jump because of others. There would be a jump if it was just us, but there'll be a larger jump than if it was just us. Okay, now I'll return to the topic. I would entertain a motion. Where am I on? That council approves the addition of one peace officer. Anyone care to make that motion? Councilor Ham. Any further questions or comments on this topic? This is actually a big one, and glad we're tackling. All those in favor of the motion? Carried. Moving on now to 8.2 on page 40. Selling town-owned vacant lots below 90% of its assessed market value. If that doesn't stir some attention, I don't know what would. And the recommended action there is a whole table of properties and listed prices and reserve prices. Again, let's leap past that and have the CEO introduce this idea.
I wanted to put this in front of council because there was a discussion somewhat like this that was related to this. And I put this RFD in place just to educate. If there's considerations that if we go below 90% market value. I haven't reached out to the real estate agents because we do have purchase agreements, or we have real estate agreements, and how this could affect that contract with them. But again, this is more educational than anything. I'm not necessarily, even though I put it in as an option for council to approve, I'm not necessarily saying, you know, you have to decide tonight what the reserve bids are. I really put this forward just for educational purposes, information only in a way, and further direction, which way you'd want to go.
Okay, to facilitate further discussion, then I would entertain a motion to adopt for the information.
I'll make that motion.
Councilor Newman. Let's speak to it.
Yeah, I think there's more information required with this. But to start with, when looking at addresses and streets and then values, I have no idea what we're talking about. I'd like to have full picture, you know, even pictures up here. What this is, this block.
A map with things
Or map, and then even a picture of the lot in some cases. Sure. And I think that's needed. And then also with the reserve bid, maybe some sort of, what is anybody else doing out there in the municipal world that's regarding, you know, related to this? If they're doing that type of thing, you know, using reserve bids on the properties, or these all going to go up blanket and they come back for reserve bids or bids? I'm not sure what the goal here is.
Yeah, some municipalities have, you know, sold their vacant lots, say for $5,000.
Yeah.
In order to get $10 million development.
Yeah.
So I mean, that is not unusual. It's a matter of, you know, what do we want to do here?
Yeah.
And our properties haven't moved. We have some interest on one or two vacant lots, but and not much activity.
Okay, let's go around the table on this one. Councilor Hunter.
David, is there any objection to, we set the reserves at 10% of the listed price with the condition that construction not to start within a year? Is that what we're looking for?
Yep, that's right. And you know, because we do want to, and that's a very big incentive for developers. You know, what the previous council did approve for some incentives is really minor. So I think doing something, whether it's 10% or 20% or 30%, it's still a good deal for a developer to go ahead and commit do construction, fully completed construction within 2 years.
Councillor Temple?
Councillor Shunter asked the question. Again, he's ahead of me today.
Councillor Hanlon?
I guess, the other thing that I would like to know, because I'm not familiar with all these properties, is, which ones have services and do any of them service lots?
Some of them are, some of them are, some of them are not, but that's a good, I could identify that.
Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, if we could get pictures, you know, of a lot and a little bit of description would really help. Because just looking at a number, I don't know what that is.
Awesome.
The only one who probably knows exactly where every one of these is on holidays in Mexico.
From this table.
No, I think that we've got a good question pieced together. Right now, the motion is just to receive for information. But clearly, we are expecting the CEO to come forward with a more precise recommendation in 2 weeks' time. I would like to see the legal basis clearly cited, not just a reference to section that and that of the NGA. I remember the last time that somebody sold properties at below value, it caused some questioning in the community, and we need to have our legal grounds firm. So I'd like to have that clearly cited. Other than that, yeah, I think we've had the questions. We need to know where they are. We need to know what they look like. We need to know how serviced they are. I'm not sure about complete construction or anything in 1 year. That might be a little tight. But I do think that if we're going to release these properties on the market at, quite frankly, next to nothing, that we should retain some ability to encourage development. Councillor Ingerland, some final closing comments.
Yeah, just the one, where was I with this? Oh, also, do we have full title to all these properties or any of these tax, pulled back because of the non-payment of taxes? We have even know
We have full payment.
we'll have full time, there's no payment requirement due to a previous owner.
Excellent. Anything else? Not seeing any. All those in favor of receiving for information? Carry. Moving on then to the MPC on page 47. This is the appointment of members at large to agencies, and the recommended action is that council appoint Sheldon Boser, James Wakel, and Gordon Olson as members at large to sit on the Municipal Planning Commission. Entertain a motion for that recommendation. Councilor Ingerland. Questions or comments from anyone?
I have to interject. I just found out today that we have a bylaw here that says if a candidate is on the ISDAB board, they cannot serve on the municipal planning commission.
That takes Sheldon.
That takes Sheldon.
Okay, the motion then only had James Wakel and Gordon Olson. Questions, comments?
So we require 3 then, do we?
Up to 3. Yeah.
Up to 3?
But yeah, it's good to have 3.
Yeah, and there's also councillors, isn't there?
2 councillors.
2 councillors? But third, make it nice in case we need to split the vote or something. Yeah, no, I have no problem with that, but then we're gonna talk about going back out for advertising again for an additional one.
Yeah, we're going
We'll do that then, okay, yeah.
Okay, any other questions or comments? All those in favor of James Wakel and Gordon Olson? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Sale of surplus equipment, page 56. We're selling the old snowblower. Option that's recommended that council approve ATM -02 2026 sale of surplus equipment policy. And I'm assuming that's the policy in front of me. Oh, no, there it is. Motion for the new adoption of this policy. Someone got my feet tangled up in the needles already. And Counselor Hanlon? Okay, please.
Okay.
It's a very interesting approval date, but I'm fine with it.
So with the approval date?
This one. The old one. I think it's in Blade Runner time.
I did, yeah, the approval, that's the old policy. And this is the start of, I'll be presenting every meeting, to council a different policy or bylaw. So, this one was hanging out there and, I wanted to, correct, I've solicited all the opinions from management and the new policies will supersede that, 3003 policy, so we're back to the present instead of the future.
My problem with this is that I would like to see the old policy with all the changes, everything in it, because for me, otherwise I might miss something when I'm comparing you to old. I find it much easier to deal with one, and I know it's very tedious reading when you're, half the pages lined out and new comments all over the place. But for comparative purposes, and this is a significant policy, for comparative purposes, it's actually easier to deal with that than the way they're presented.
I can certainly do that, and we can defer this to the next meeting.
Okay. Councilman,
Not to have a problem with selling surplus equipment. How we do that, if we put it up for bids locally, we will get probably open bids, very low ball bids, unless it's snow removal equipment, which may get scratch steel value, it's steel. But there are other avenues that can be done for this. It's been to the conference, I think even their gov deals were there. I've dealt with them before at other locations and find them very good to deal with. And then if something doesn't sell with them, then we can come back to a policy like this. So I think the first option would be, if appropriate, to take it over to somebody who does a public sale on it. So it gets out to a larger audience, because these guys come out, we had stuff sold. This was in Birch Hills, it flowed down to the south end of the province and even over to other provinces.
excellent advice. Any other questions or comments? Councilor Juncker?
I like that. I think we should do that. I think that if we're gonna take it out to a service like that, we still need to advertise it locally, so we have residents going, well, I didn't know
And
that.
then they go online and still make the bid there.
Yeah, they can use Richie Rose or Doug Briggs or whatever you want to use, but it still gets advertised in the, on the town website and the official social media channel and everything else, right?
And particularly the paper record.
Yes.
And I know it's under section 7, public auction, option. There's reference to a public auctioneer. To us, that's a company like Richie Brothers. But I could be a little more specific.
Yeah, Gov Deals works a lot better than deal with other government organizations, so they are more of a focused buyers or sellers. They're focused.
I'll bring this back.
Okay.
Okay, question for the clerk. Could you read the latest motion on this topic that was just
That we, that council approve ADM 02/2026 sale of surplus equipment policy? Pardon me,
who made the motion?
Carol.
Councilor
Oh, sorry, Councillor Hanlon.
Hanlon, would you accept a very, very, very friendly amendment saying that you meant to say that this motion would read that it be deferred to management for 2 weeks?
Most definitely.
Got the words right out of my mouth.
Do we rescind that original motion then?
Never happened.
Motion's on record?
No, it's friendly.
Okay.
Okay? So we'll get something more precise, and please, can we conflate the two documents into one?
Absolutely.
And now you've heard the basic concerns that we have, and that is that we want it well advertised locally, but we also want a general, almost province-wide approach. Deputy Mayor?
If you, list your equipment with, let's say, Ritchie Brothers, you can't advertise.
What Gov Deals does.
Another point of view. Anything else? No, it's good advice. Anybody else throw these gems in?
Another thing is,
Go ahead.
is we can take pictures, serial numbers, and take it to Ritchie Brothers, and they'll tell you what it's worth. And they've got a really good idea what it's gonna be worth. So we wanna sell it, we just, we can sell it ourselves before we register the vehicles with an auction house.
I have no problem selling it with the auction house versus selling it ourselves. I just, my issue is I don't wanna send it off to the auction house and have local residents complaining that they didn't know about it.
That you can't have both.
Yeah.
But the deputy mayor is basically suggesting that Ritchie Brothers or firms like that can at least value it for us, and then we can decide how to advertise it. That's what I get from it, right? Okay. Valuable to know that. Any other? All those in favor of deferring? Carried. Moving on. Oh, page 63, we get to see what the CAO has been up to.
Oh, yeah, yeah, it's been a busy 2 weeks. Working on different policies, and I drafted that briefing note for the youth assessment center. And whether council wants to move forward on that letter, especially with the front page headlines today from the Southeast News. I need some direction there, or draft a different letter or a different approach. Find out more information. It'd be nice to have a tour of that building, just so that we can see absolutely how it appears. So I don't know where to absolutely go with that, other than to send something to one or two ministries. So I need advice from council, but it's setting up for the last 2 weeks, just kind of setting up for the year. And I'm very encouraged with council and the decisions, how decisive this council really is. I appreciate that.
A motion to receive the CEO's report for information, Council Dow. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor, carried. I should need to point out, the Youth Assessment Center isn't on the agenda.
No, I forgot.
So, obviously, clerk, if you could add it to our Tuesday committee of the whole, and then we can have a good round table on that one.
Good.
Moving on to correspondence, and this always takes a little time because we have to dispose of each item of correspondence one by one. And we'll first get the CEO to introduce the item, and then we'll decide on how to dispose of it. Item number one, introduction to organization, the Alberta Early Learning and Care Leaders Caucus. We are now on page 73, I think. CEO.
So just trying to read through this again to remind me. They're congratulating the mayor and introducing themselves. For more than that, it has been a leading voice. So they aren't asking for anything. Right, but I'm reading the meeting. So I'm not seeing that they're asking for anything, they're just introducing what they do.
Accept the motion to receive for information, Councillor Temple. All those in favor? Carried. Moving on to the wireless water meter hearing. I have no idea why that should come to council. I don't know why it would have come to the manager in charge of water.
Sorry, we probably didn't need to put this in. We are updating our meters anyway. So this is just a competitor that's sent us something. So
We have motion to refer to management.
Right.
Councillor Temple, all those in favor, carried. Highbury Annual Round Dance. I'll ask Councillor Hanlon to speak to this. Because I believe it comes from me.
Yes, so
Your representative.
this comes from the Highbury Aboriginal Interagency Committee. They are doing their annual round dance. And the round dance started in Highbury by this organization in 2013. So it's an ongoing event. And it is a costly event. Their budget is in here, roughly it costs about just over $19,000. And they do contact all the organizations in town, different companies, the municipality, and various organizations seeking funding for this event. And they are asking for a donation. In their letter, they did indicate that any financial support or any in-kind services, donations, or anything for door prizes would be appreciated. But the preference would be cash donations so that they can cover any essential needs like the drummers and honorariums. So they are asking preferably for a cash donation, but they would also accept anybody from council that wants to come out and assist on that date. The round dance is scheduled for February 28th.
Councilor Brenda, so in their budget, I see, they didn't put a request in for assistance, but the normal, but I see in here the facilities, where is this hosted next?
This one is,
One of the schools.
I believe this one is the junior high.
Junior high then receives money from them? School board here? Or sorry, so the school board here gets the revenue off of this then, it's a facility?
Yes.
Oh, this one doesn't say exactly where it's being held, but I thought it was at a school. Or was that,
No, I think I believe this one, I'll have to go back and look at my notes, but I believe this one is being held at Prairie River Junior High, and the powwow coming up will be held at the Sports Palace.
It says in High Prairie.
okay, they're basically, there is a, first off, they're providing us with information about their event. And they are asking for a contribution, a donation, either cash or in kind. Somebody want to frame a motion about that, Councilor Benoit?
I make the motion that we provide the High Prairie Aboriginal Interagency Committee for the round dance, allot of $500. Event.
Okay, let's go around the table and get our feelings on that. Councilor Chapman.
No question.
Councilor Shelter.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, this time Councilor Temple got it right. Councilor Shelter forward. Not good. Councilor Hanlon. Deputy Mayor.
500 is big.
Yeah, I support it, but. Okay, any last minute summary comments? And since this is actually comes out of one of your committees, Councilor Hanlon, I'll give you the last minute summary comment, not Councilor Minor.
Thank you. So, yeah, I would just, like to encourage everyone to come out and extend the invitation to mayor and council and administration staff to come out and experience round dance if you haven't already. It's very energizing.
Will this attract a large number of people?
Some years it's hit or miss, but, they do get a good turnout from community members in High Prairie.
Okay, the motion is that council support it with a grant of $500. All those in favor, raise your hands. Carried. Moving on then to an expression of interest regarding seniors.
I don't know, yeah, and I don't know what it would take to co-host the kind of work, promotion that it would involve with staff time. I'm not sure myself if we should take this on, but I'll leave it to council.
Well, I would suggest if we were to take this on, the lead hand should be the Golden Angel. Any questions or comments on this one? Let's formulate a motion. I suspect we're receiving this for information. Motion? Wait, that motion. Shall we move the line? All those in favor of receiving this for information? Carried. Moving on then to healthcare student fair.
Looks like they're asking us to have a table or a booth, but I don't. And it makes mention of, let's see what I've got here. To showcase our services, share resources, and engage with the next generation of healthcare professionals. So I'm not sure if we participate. I don't know if we participated in this in the past. Is anybody aware of the town has done it?
Motion to accept for information. Councilor Temple, all those in favor? Carried. Moving on then to physician-led youth therapeutic group home, opening on February 14th. CEO?
We would welcome a brief introductory conversation to explore alignment with our service pathways and how Beta Health and the healing services may serve as a complementary option for appropriate placement. So I don't know how we could help them in this way, other than they're asking for a meeting.
No. Entertain a motion to accept for information. Councilor Temple, all those in favor? Carried. Moving on to the 15th annual Alberta Care Spring Seminar.
Spring summer.
Okay.
What page are we still on? This is 99. So they sent us a flyer, and who should attend: municipal elected officials, Alberta Care, and
This is waste disposal.
waste disposal.
Yeah, and
There's no description of anything.
yeah, we have a counselor sitting on the Waste Management Commission, right?
Right.
And now we have this is just information. Motion to accept for information.
I'll make that motion.
Councilor Line, all those in favor? Carried. Moving on to Valentine's Day, Make a Wish. I have this was deferred 2 weeks ago because we weren't sure what was being asked. I spoke to two of the people that are very much involved in this, and they were simply inviting council to the event. I talked to two people, and they said, no, we're not really looking for donations. We're just asking you to make it public, and if you can, buy tickets and come to the event. So, motion to accept for information. Councilor Hamlin, all those in favor? Carried. Moving on now to the Alberta Municipalities Welcome Package. These are the, what do you call them? We just got it handed out. They're the new ones. According to portfolios, according to Ryan Martinson, they make excellent laptop covers. Where are the laptops?
They're there.
The Those are the colors, and you may secure whatever you want to use as a color. Receive for information, Councillor Hammond. Moving on. Business on the Lake and Leadership Convention. There's actually two items buried in this one. There's the information about business on the lake. There's also a request that we appoint a representative to community futures. We don't have a councillor on community futures. CEO.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
And should we have someone pointing at a possible candidate?
I've worked with them a little bit in the past.
Motion to appoint Councillor Shunter as our representative. Road meeting. Tax related. Receiving for information, business on the lake. He's a wonderful volunteer.
Yes, it goes, you not to.
Followed. Motion for information on business on the lake information. Councillor Mindeline, all those in favor, carried.
Who's going? Business on the lake.
Oh, we have 6 tickets, is that right? And I would prefer not to go.
What's the date of that?
Cool. February 12th. Let's go to the, and we have 6.
I will go.
The CEO will go. Spring Lake.
Yeah.
Here, this is it.
Just be excuse for a second when I get my phone here so I can check the calendar. Oh, something that's pretty behind.
Is this the one that's in the Legacy Center? And probably not, it doesn't spring out at you which building it's in.
Yeah, you're right. Northern Lakes College Gym.
Oh, Northern Lakes.
No, that's the Career and Job Expo.
Oh, well, we'll find out, but it's in Slave Lake. The CEO has his name down, Councillor Hamlin, you indicated interest?
I'd like to go. I'm just waiting for word from my supervisor if she can find coverage for me that day.
Okay, so that's 2 people, Councillor Minderline.
I just checked my calendar, well, let's say 11, 12, to make sure that, whoops. Oh, business on the lake, I've already got this on the calendar, so yeah.
You're, want to go? Councillor Temple?
I will not be able to attend. My wife has a medical appointment.
Councillor Shunter?
If there's a spare ticket, I'll take along with somebody.
1, 2, 3, 4,
It's 4.
5.
That's 4. 4.
Councillor first.
Oh, that's a good variance. Perfect.
I won't be going because I'll find out that my wife hasn't engaged. For you, which?
Well, I know mine has, because I got to drive her back. Can't
I
drive.
have a question.
That's what kind of guy you were, and that's not. Don't call him, yeah.
So following up on this business on the lake, and I know I had mentioned it in an email, I thought we had 8 free tickets for this event.
Oh, we only have 4 people wanting to go. So it doesn't matter if it's 8.
No, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people already, and
Fine.
possible here 6.
Okay, 6, good.
And the water treatment plant. This is a very informative letter
I wanted this on the record,
received from the NPE, our engineers, to Vern Walker. It's a keeper, this one, okay? I'm sure you've all read it. Motion to accept for review. Councillor Bennett. Okay. Oh, okay. Moving on to come to the reports. It is on page 116. We have all now pretty much, in fact, everybody is doing written reports. I apologize for being so late in mine, but I was sick for most of December and the first half of January. but in fact, it's part of the table pack. I really appreciate everybody writing reports. I really do. It's great. The press can see them. In fact, they can publish them for all we care. And I think it just adds a measure of accountability that the public is certainly entitled. They also, of course, see our expense claims. And I think that's about as open as we're able to do with those particular items. Entertain a motion to receive the written report of council for information. Okay, Councilor Mindell, the clerk must be able to spell his name by now. It's on there about a dozen times. All those in favor? Carried. We are now into confidential items. And there is one. Councilor Hamlin, before we go.
Sorry, we did add on to the agenda.
Yes.
Element.
Thank you for reminding me. This was the add-on item, just before item 17, confidential, the economic development item. Councilor Hamlin, please introduce it.
Okay, so there was an email that we received regarding this Economic Development Foundations training. It is happening February 3rd in Sucker Creek, and it's free. There would be no cost to us. And the town of High Prairie has 3 spots available. I was talking with Jennifer, she's the executive director. So I, for one, would appreciate if I could attend. And I'm not sure if there's any other interest. I know the CAO had mentioned that there were no staff available to attend, but I would like to attend on behalf of council.
Okay, that's the Alberta North Central Alliance, Jennifer Churchville, right? And they're putting together, and Sucker Creek First Nation is hosting it. We have 3 seats added. Councilor Hammond has volunteered to take one. Anybody else interested? Councilor Hunter?
I didn't see that email, so if you could forward it to me again, it's probably very late box, but I'd like to take a seat too.
Okay, good. And is there a third? Boys, morning. February 3rd. There's a third. Any more? Motion to authorize those 3 individuals to attend that event. Entertain a motion? Councilor Minderline, he's my go-to guy today. All those in favor of those 3, carried. We're moving on, man. These are confidential. I will be asking for a motion that the meeting go into closed session to discuss disclosure harmful to personal privacy. And so I'm asking everyone, including staff, please have some those. I will report the motion and the time and provide it to the clerk at the conclusion. But let's take a 3 or 4 minutes. You realize the other people in the groups are paid. Start taking that right.
Yeah, it's
That's fine. That's not.
It's meant to be like that, or what's going on?
The other 8 people knew they were safe.
First,
I said 1 in 5 of this